Hi Salman, and welcome to your first essay correction. Thanks for your patience. It is now Monday and we're switching over to the new platform, so everything should be smooth and hunky-dory from now on. So well done for getting this far in the course and producing your first work. I can already see that you've been paying attention to the acronym and a lot of our advice. So now what we do is read through your essays one at a time and offer corrections, suggestions and advice throughout. The best thing to do is to correct the essays along with my speech. Eventually you will learn how to spot your own mistakes, and you will develop the skills of a proofreader, which will allow you to submit superior work in IELTS. The point of academic writing is to take information already known and add our thoughts to it, coming to new conclusions. In order to do that, we have to very, very carefully explain our thinking. And we have to make sure that it's respectable and credible, that it's accurate and precise, that it is somewhat stylish and flexible, only a tiny bit though, and that you have responded to the question fully. These are the areas in which you are marked, and these are the sorts of things we keep in mind while we're correcting. So let's begin, shall we? Let's see what we can get up to. So we don't need this preposition here. Sorry, this article. Due to the evolving technologies and family structures could just become, due to evolving technologies and family structures, people... So you can't say that they do not have the proclivity for real conversation with their loved ones. What you've said here is that it's the desire to communicate with loved ones has completely gone away. Now that's not correct. What you could say is evolving technologies and family structures have resulted in reduced proclivity for real conversation amongst family members. I love the use of the word proclivity, but it must be used accurately. You can't say that it's entirely gone. You must say, using due to at the start of an essay as well is not recommended. I would just enter generally. Evolving technologies and family structures have reduced the proclivity for real conversation amongst family members. Done. I believe that communication between families or within families would be good actually. I believe that communication within families has been reduced due to the rapidly changing world. But you have already said that there. Careful of repetition. Maybe a general topic sentence and then an opinion sentence. And maybe we should change real conversation with something like meaningful face-to-face interaction, or just face-to-face interaction. Because people would argue with you that electronic communication is still real conversation. Just because it's not face-to-face doesn't mean it's not real conversation. So we should maybe refer to the fact that we mean physical, real, in-your-face conversation. And then we can say that your opinion is that communication overall has been reduced. I would also make these more specific. This essay will explain arguments by taking examples from. So you're not taking examples from screen time. This is an abstract phrase that you're using to refer to the amount of time people spend on their screens. So you would have to say here, this essay will support arguments by considering the amount of time that people spend staring at screens or using technology and changes to modern family structures. Firstly, people, not the people, firstly, people are overwhelmed by digital media and are having more screen time. So again, this is not a general topic sentence. This is quite a strong opinion. People are overwhelmed? Are they? By digital media? I'm currently using digital media. I don't feel overwhelmed. Are they having more screen time as a result of being overwhelmed? Or So are they being overwhelmed by screen time, or are they coping with being overwhelmed by technology by having screen time? I'm not sure. And we can't say glued to either, because this is metaphorical. This is not literal. In academic essays, we must speak literally. We don't use analogies necessarily. That's literary. We don't use metaphors. That's also literary. If we use a metaphor, it's because we want people to imagine something else to give the idea texture. But in academic essays, we don't ever try to do that. We only try to tell the truth accurately. So here, I would use a general topic sentence. That the increase in availability of digital media has resulted in people spending more time using screen-based devices. This is because they spend a large... So again, we're just going to be repeating ourselves here. It's not because they are glued to their screens. They are glued to their screens because it is entertaining, because it is cheap, it's accessible, it's easy, it's convenient. There are lots of benefits, lots of reasons that people spend more time on their screens. For example, a statistical report by the Department of Households. I'd say the Department of UK Households, although I'm from the UK and I don't know that department. Don't forget, this is a British Council exam, and the examiner will be a British person from the UK. So if you're going to cite a UK governmental department, make sure it exists. Because people reading your essays will not appreciate made-up statistics to support your arguments. If you can't think of a research project or a statistic to support your argument, it might just be better to use real-world examples that you are aware of. Just use the best examples you can think of to support your statements. So that way, you've said generally that people are spending more time on their screens. It is because it is easier, more effective, all those benefits. And then you could say, to illustrate, a statistical report by the Department of UK Households indicated that the number of individuals watching television at home has tripled over the last decade. The number of individuals watching television at home has tripled over the last decade. Therefore, modern families, let's say, modern families are dedicating more of their time to screens over family members. That would work well. Secondly, the structure of modern families disturbs communication between them. So you could say the structure of modern families disturbs communication between the individual members. Get rid of this because it's just not essential. Most parents work daily. Additionally, children are often cared for by foster parents or grandparents. Not this. So, as parents are required to work daily, children are often cared for by foster parents or grandparents. For instance, a report from Harvard University indicates that family members of 80% of all households meet for an average of 2 hours each week. We can get rid of that as well. Meet for an average of 2 hours each week. Consequently, so this doesn't say anything about family structures for me. I would say family care structures, or I'd be more specific. We need to know exactly what you're talking about. So, maybe refer to the role of the guardian, the person who is the guardian of the child, the legal guardian. In conclusion, I believe that there is no real communication between... See again, this is an overstatement. No real communication is far too much. Because there is still some. In fact, you just said it there, that 2 hours each week families get together. So now if there's no real communication, what's happening here? I believe that there is severely reduced communication between family members. And the distance, but even then, they're not really actually far apart, are they? So I believe that meaningful communication amongst family members has been severely reduced, and steps should be taken to mitigate this problem before it becomes more pronounced. There we go, that will do. So smoothing out, ensuring that we fully expand and support all our ideas and we don't include unnecessary information, we have arrived at a decent essay. Let's move on and have a look at your second one. So I'm already impressed by your first sentence. Recreational activities play a vital role in a child's development. Nice. Very general, but also right on the money. I know now exactly what you're going to be talking about. I believe minors who spend time playing, we spend time. So I believe minors who spend time playing are much brighter compared with their colleagues who busy themselves with scholastic reading. That would be good. So again, we need to just make sure that when we're referring to our examples, this essay will explain arguments or illustrate arguments by analysing or by looking closer at the playing of video games and team sports such as football. As much detail in there as possible, but as few words. So that's what accuracy and precision is. Lots of information, very few words. Firstly, children who invest time playing video games are more intelligent, are intelligent and keen observers. This is because playing on games consoles, that says consoles, so C-O-N-S-O-L-E-S, consoles, develops spatial awareness and acutely sharpens the mind. Now this is again a bit of an overstatement to say that it acutely sharpens the mind. I would expect some support here from a real, I would expect proof. I want you to show me that this statement is true. Acutely sharpens their minds. Understanding what the word acute means, a lot in a very short amount of time, a sharp increase or a sharp change. Acutely sharpens their minds. Sharply sharpens their minds is essentially what we've said here. So I expect that to be fully backed up, but a third faster in solving puzzles, I would not say is acutely sharpening the mind. If you had said it was like 60 or 70% increase, or if it was doubled, then I would have agreed with you. But let's make sure that our adjectives match the points we're making and that we're not being dramatic and we're not overstating things. Therefore, it benefits children to hone their problem-solving skills. I would say, therefore, video games carry a myriad of benefits to children over reading, such as the development of problem-solving skills. Secondly, sports are important in developing children's cognitive abilities. This is due to the fact that playing sports often requires teamwork, and the implementation of a diverse range of game strategies. Cool. The implementation of a diverse range of game strategies. For instance, the American Foundation of Learning found that a child who participates in football, For instance, the American Foundation of Learning found that children who participate in football are team-oriented because it involves so it's getting a bit long. Children who participate in football are more team-oriented, due to the collaborative efforts that are required. See, what we've tried to do here is use too many fancy words when there was really no need to. Now, this is something that an IELTS examiner will come down on. It is fine to know fancy words and to use them, but only when they are 100% appropriate. This sentence is now too long because you've tried to use this word. So we need to make sure that we are improving the readability of our essays. Consequently, this improves children's mental abilities and prepares them better for future jobs in establishments. Now, great, but this is now a separate idea. This idea here is not mentioned at all in this paragraph. If you're going to mention a distinct idea about job opportunities, this must have its own paragraph with its own explanation, its own supporting example, and its own summary statement. So make sure that in your summary paragraph, you only include information that you have already referenced. We're trying to bring all this together into this. So when you put this full stop after your third sentence, you're going, okay, I need to get this into this. Where it's about explaining it to people. To conclude, I firmly believe that children's free time must be invested in leisure activities. As a result, it will raise, R-A-I-S-E, it will raise the intelligence levels of children as well as their cooperative abilities. Parents and teachers alike should be required to implement the idea of investing free time in recreational activities to yield fruitful results. Good. You could even say of investing free time or investing time in free play. Free play in the UK is what we call time that children spend just essentially bumping into each other. We think it's essential for children to learn their own organic social rules from their own organic interactions. We don't direct their play. We don't tell them what they should be doing. We just let them do it, and they learn their lessons. And that's free play. It's an integral part of the UK schooling system to permit children free play for at least 2 hours each day during school time. But overall, you have wonderful argument. You do express your argument well. You answer the question fully. What we need to do is make sure that your body paragraphs are properly structured and that your language is precise and accurate and not dramatic in any way. Let's tell the truth and let's do it well. But thanks, Salman. Those were great. I'll look forward to seeing your next corrections come through. I'll speak to you soon. Have a nice day, pal. Bye-bye.